Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, so First Lady Melania Trump did something very out of character and unusual today. She made an address to the nation at the White House today, and I saw that this was coming up, and it was kind of unexpected with everything that's going on, and I really didn't know what it was going to be about. And then Melania came out and she talked about Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein victims. And we'll go through this speech of hers. It's just under 6 minutes long. And I'm very much interested in hearing your thoughts on this because now this is just developing, just breaking. So, I'm wondering why Melania did this today. All right. Why did she do this today? And after we go through what she said, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But your calls are welcome. I'm sure you have some thoughts on this. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631 if you're listening live. Okay, so here is the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. Here she goes.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. Mm-hmm. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein's abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name to gain financially and climb politically must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK.
Wow.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
All right. So that was Melania. No questions. Okay. So, by the way, for all of you never Trumpers out there that think that MAGA and President Trump hate immigrants, if you didn't notice by listening to the First Lady, she's an immigrant, a legal immigrant with a very heavy accent. Okay. So we have no problem with legal immigrants. It's illegal ones. Okay. So why do you think Melania came out today and started talking about Epstein? You know, Epstein is like a fungus. It just never goes away, and it keeps coming back. And when President Trump signed the bill into law that Congress passed, making it a federal law to release all of the Epstein files, which was done by Pam Bondi before she was fired by the president, I thought that was the end of it, because what the files showed is that the only reason that Jeffrey Epstein was brought to justice is because Donald Trump turned him into the local police, the local sheriff's office in Palm Beach, and then in the local police in the city of Palm Beach, on Palm Beach Island, and that we heard from MAGA Mike Johnson that the president worked as an FBI informant to bring Epstein to justice too. Remember that. And I thought we had kind of gotten past this, and then Melania came out and brought this up today. So what's going on? It was really out of the blue, way out of left field. And watching this now, if you go on social media with their something's coming out and she's running for cover, having followed Melania all these years, while we don't know the real reason she came out, using a little bit of common sense, I think she's sick and tired of being slandered by people about this, right? All these photographs, all these people say this, all these people say that. And I think Melania cares very much about her reputation. I really do. And I think that is a driving force for her to come out and do this. And it really is, we've gotten so much beyond this. She mentioned this email that she wrote to Maxwell, and she said she mispronounced it because of her, her English is like her third or fourth language. And what she was saying is the email is nothing more than a trivial note. Like Maxwell wrote her, Ghislaine Maxwell wrote her, and she wrote her back. Now, the Daily Mail, let me pull this up. This could have also been a part of the reason that she came out and did this today. because she. I mean, how much is someone going to be harassed and slandered? The Daily Mail in the UK has this article today. Melania's intimate love note to Ghislaine Maxwell buried inside explosive Epstein files release. Now, that to me sounds like the email that Melania referenced there. And she wanted to set the record straight about that. She's sick and tired of people saying terrible things about her. You hear people say things about her. Melania is not really political, even though she's married to the president. The only thing she's done that might be offensive to people are filmmakers out in Hollywood who she beat at the box office because she had the #1 documentary film in the last 10 years in theaters opening weekend, right? Remember that? So, maybe that. Other than that, I don't see why anyone would be offended or upset at anything involving Melania. Do you? No, not at all. The other first ladies don't like her because whenever she goes to an event, she makes them look like what they are, toxic, terrible people. But my guess is it has a lot to do with this this email that's come out in the Daily Mail. A lot of times, Epstein, for a lot of the media, okay, when there's a slow news period and the news media are looking for filler, a lot of times they go to Epstein. Epstein's their go-to. And I've seen that happen time and time again. And of course, the liberals are going to jump on this. Here's Chuck Todd, who's just a terrible person. He posted on X, "No way the White House is hoping to re-engage the domestic public on Epstein to distract from this Iran debacle, are they?" Well, first off, Iran is not a debacle. And then look at this idiot liberal that put this picture there. I mean, these people are liberals are just crazy people. But my guess is it has to do with this Daily Mail story, with this email. Ghislaine Maxwell, and Melania talked about it in her address that I just shared. Ghislaine Maxwell emailed her, and she wrote her back politely. That's it, right? And she said it's nothing more than a trivial note of politeness because she's polite. And they make she's been, for the last 10 to 12 years, she hasn't hurt a fly, and she's been nothing but called the worst things that you can call a woman. They have altered photographs and all kinds of other things of her. They accuse her of all kinds of crimes and terrible things, which I'm not going to say. You know what they are. You've heard them. And maybe she's just fed up with it. Huh? Have you anybody think of that? And I think it's highly likely that she's just fed up with it. And I wouldn't blame her. Would you? No, I wouldn't blame her at all. It is a shame, though, that we're getting this Epstein business re-injected into our lives because we really gotten past it, and we weren't going to have to hear anything about it in the near future because it had pretty much been laid to rest, and now it's being brought out again. Okay, hold on a second. My phone is just blowing up, so let me put my do not disturb on. This is something we had gotten by finally after years of endless discussion, and now it's back into the news cycle, and it's going to go round and round and round and start all over again. Fine, we'll have to deal with it. That's the way it is. They're just, this Trump derangement syndrome is just never going to end. And the Trump haters are always looking for something new. And if this is a distraction involving the Iran war, I would say it's not a distraction from Trump in the White House. It's a distraction by the left to take away from the great success that President Trump has had with victory in the war with Iran. Maybe it's the left distracting from his victories. But anyway, I'm open to hear your thoughts on this. The number is pinned in the live chat if you're watching live on YouTube. It's 888-465-2631. A toll-free call no matter where you are, 888-465-2631. And I know some of you get all excited when the name Epstein gets mentioned. Be respectful, okay, with your language if you don't mind. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good afternoon, Brian. This is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
I'm talking to Brian.
Richie's talking to his wife, telling his wife he's talking to me.
She asked me who I was talking to on the phone.
Oh boy,
she didn't
really?
realize you're on what? She didn't think you were on 24 hours a day.
Pretty much. I pretty much have my own 24-hour television station.
Exactly. When I saw you come up on my YouTube, I said, "Let me see what's going on here," because I've been watching the Masters, and this is very intriguing. You know, I got a couple of questions I got to ask. First of all, they won't let Epstein go. They won't let that thing die.
Never.
I believe Melania Trump is the classiest act that's ever been in the White House.
Yep.
And she's very respectable.
Yep.
And so is President Trump. And they're being attacked by Ro Khanna and this
Pigs.
Thomas Massey. And I'm going to say this. If I was a woman or at a young age and I was molested by an older gentleman, and now I'm in a group of molested people, and I'm 35, 45 years old, whatever. You think I'm going to sit back there and shut up?
Exactly.
I'm going to name my victims.
Exactly.
I think this is all a conspiracy.
Give me a second, Richie. My
the
phone's
25th Amendment.
Yeah.
He is a phony. He's a left-wing hack, and he comes out of California. He represents a small left-wing district. He's garbage. He's pure garbage in his suit, and he tries to come across nice as a nice guy.
Yeah, and you know,
it's
I've always been of the opinion, but again, I'm a gentleman, but I've always been of the opinion that wives are off limits. But you know, I guess I'm just a decent person.
100%, 100%, and not just that. Where are these victims? Why have they not opened their mouths? Melania is right. Let them get up and go under the microscope. I don't want to hear this garbage. Well, there'll be victims 2 times now because they have to.
What do you mean? They've had endless press conferences and interviews, and between them, if they talked to one another, they could identify people who they didn't know the names of by now. They know who these guys are. I agree with you.
100%. This is all to get Donald Trump. They never said a damn thing when Biden was in office. It's been quieted when under Obama, Clinton. It's all been hush hush. It only comes out against Trump. They'll do anything to get Trump. I'm to the point where I'm so disgusted. This is this country is. I'm starting to look at half this country as being total communist fakes, and the media is right there with them.
Yeah.
It's really out of control.
No, to put Melania through what they're putting her through because they don't have any agenda is disgusting.
She looked sick to her stomach already. Enough is enough, including President Donald John Trump.
Well, I'll tell you. You know what this is about. Now that I think about it, it's payback from the Clintons of having the Clintons go and testify in front of Congress a couple weeks ago. And so Hillary Clinton walked out of there pissed off, you know, with her ankles weighing down her feet and shoes, and she's lashing out against Melania and punishing her because she had to testify. That's exactly what now that I think about it, that's exactly what this is about and why it happened.
Yeah, the James Carville. He's vulgar. He's always been vulgar.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's the big spokesman for the center portion of a party that's not in the center anymore. A bunch of commies.
Yeah.
Even he's ticked off at him. So, bottom line is, it's the Republican Party, and some of them are traitors.
Yep.
Like Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene,
yep.
And then it's the communists.
Yeah.
And if the people want this country to go communist, go and vote for a Democrat. You want a communist party? Look what's going. I don't want to throw this off because Mondani is losing his stuff. It's going crazy in New York. People are moving out, and he's after the white people now. So by the way, I happen to be a white guy. Brian, you're a white guy.
Yes, I am.
Guess what?
I am a white guy.
We are But we are occupiers.
Yes,
we don't
correct.
belong here.
Yeah,
We belong back in Europe. This country-
Mom Donnie does. Muslims from Uganda, they're the real
yes,
Americans.
This country,
Yes.
yeah, this country belongs to black and brown people now. The white man has to go. Oh, and we'll give the white.
And you know,
women
one thing that
chance
Mom
to
Donnie
stay
and
here.
these 1619 Project lunatics don't get is we didn't decide to come here either. We just happened to be born here like everybody else. Okay, not that I'm complaining, but they act like we brought them here. Anyway, Richie, I want to move on, but I appreciate the call.
All
And you're
right,
right.
have a great afternoon.
All right, take care. Yeah, now come to think of it, it makes perfect sense to me now that I'm talking about this out loud there with Richie. This is all happening to Melania because Hillary Clinton had to testify a couple weeks ago. This is how Hillary Clinton operates, right? Nothing's her fault. Nothing's her husband's fault. It's always someone else's fault. And she goes out to destroy people. And she's out there trying to hurt Melania because her husband couldn't keep his pants on his whole life. He probably does now because he's not able to do anything probably anymore down there. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean.
Well, Richie's 100% right on everything he said. And there's a lot behind this. Yes, it's no coincidence that, what happened a few weeks ago with Clinton. And I think what Melania is doing is that she's getting up there because she has had enough of this. And she's standing up for her husband. She's standing up for herself. And she's encouraging these victims to stand up for themselves to let everyone know. But it's also, not just for themselves, but this is because they know, and they're 100% sure that they're innocent. Nothing's ever happened with them, with Epstein. And the liberal left just likes to weave up all these horrible stories because that's all they have.
Yeah.
So Melania's 1 foot forward and she said, she just finally got the urge. She got to go with it. See, what Trump does and Melania do is you don't know what angle. It's just boom, there it is.
Yes.
And that's what Melania is. She's got the same instincts that her husband has.
Yeah.
And she's lived with them for a long time. So she's like a lot. They have a lot in common.
Yes.
Incredible things.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening here, 100%. Mm-hmm. She's had enough of this, and Trump's. They frankly both have had enough of this, of course. And I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as these people are absurd. I have to set the record straight, and this is it. It's the time is right. It's instinct. It just has to be now.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's the case. Oh, and on a lighter note, this morning, one of your callers was talking about 47 for 47 years. A few weeks ago, I was thinking the same thing. Right? I should have said it to you.
It was, you would have gotten. I wish I'd have thought of it. Yeah, a guy called in today. He said it took the 47th president to end the 47-year-long war with Iran. I thought that was really good. Yeah, I know we all when somebody comes up with something good, we all wish it seems so simple. Why didn't I think of that? Well, everything seems simple once you know it.
I thought maybe I didn't say it because I thought you already thought that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, because I said a few weeks ago, it took 47 to end 47. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And it's so true though, and that's amazing. The numbers all don't. Sometimes there's coincidences, sometimes there isn't. So I don't know what's in it, but I think that's amazing though. Mm-hmm. The 47, 47.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, Sean, I appreciate the call. All right.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, take care. Yeah, my phone is really blowing up. I thought I put my do not disturb on, but it's still dinging. Let me check here. I'm going to break anyway in just a minute. Let me see here. Yeah, since I've gotten the new iPhone, it's on do not disturb, but I guess I got one notification that no matter what, I still get the dings even on do not disturb. All right, now listen, I'm going to take a quick break, and when I get back, I got a lot of good stuff to cover. But you're welcome to call in about this Melania Epstein statement. I think we got the whole mystery solved now, right? The whole mystery solved. Hillary and Bill had to testify in Congress a couple weeks ago to the committee. Hillary Clinton flipped out. She was ticked off. So she set her attack dogs out to hurt someone because, Hillary, nothing's ever Hillary's fault. So she told them to go out and hurt Melania and make Melania feel like she feels. Okay. And she got her idiot friends in the media to hash up drag out this old story with Ghislaine Maxwell and this email and make her feel as bad as she feels, Hillary. It's all Hillary Clinton. I think the mystery has been solved right here on this program. The Brian Craig Show is available wherever you get podcasts, by the way. Wherever you get your podcast, just go and search for The Brian Craig Show, and I'll pop up. If you want to catch the show in video form and live where you hear me take the calls, that's on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for The Brian Craig Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm calling from the state of Oregon. I just had a couple of questions.
Here we go.
So I'm just a little confused. I just want to know like context of the situation. So I understand it's like about an email that she potentially sent, and it's about a thing that she stated on live television today. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. What are you confused about? Oh, he hung up. I didn't touch the phones. He hung up. He's so confused he disconnected his call. I think that's probably best, don't you? All right, listen, I'm going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's a lot more to cover. I'm going to jump into some other things. You will not want to miss a moment of today's show. Again, if you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Minimalist design, maximum impact. This is Marspire. We define streetwear, clean, high quality, and timeless. Elevate your style and discover our latest drops and accessories. Visit us now at marspireofficial.com. Marspire, wear the inspiration.
On the line, we have Steve. He is a listener and client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He took my advice. He went to see Joe Thomas, took advantage of that no-charge consultation. Steve, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities.
Matter of fact, 3 years ago to the day, my mom passed away. And it's when I found out that my mom and dad left me, my brother and sister, a nice inheritance. And when I heard the advertisements on your show, I said this would be a great investment because I retired 25 years ago, 2001, and I got a good pension. I'm a retired police officer. But 25 years later, that pension does not buy anywhere near what it bought 25 years ago. I heard about Joe and how I could increase my income with these annuities. It battled the inflation because my pension was just not buying and taking care of me as it did 25 years ago. And Joe and his family, his daughters and his son, they were so nice and accommodating, and they asked me what my goal was, and my goal was specifically to get a monthly mailbox money checks from these annuities. And the second thing was to leave a nice inheritance for my kids like my parents did for me. And he was great. I can't say enough about him.
You did something with your inheritance so few people do. Most people get that inheritance. They buy a new car, they buy a new house. You got it in annuities, and now you've got that guaranteed income each and every month for the rest of your life.
You got that right, and I'm telling you, it's a godsend. I can't thank Joe and his family enough.
Well, listen, give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation just like Steve did. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Also, guys, make sure that if you are watching on YouTube that you like the video. That helps a lot. Please like the video. And if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, make sure that you follow or subscribe. It's always free to do. All right, now, if you listen to the callers I get, the liberals I talk to, the liberally impaired, I mean, they're just hopeless. This morning's show was so bizarre. I'm talking to these liberal. We're talking about the gas prices, and and the whole show today was about gas prices are under $4 a gallon, pretty much everywhere in the United States right now. Some places even under $3 now. Since we won the war with Iran, the gas prices are just dropping big time. And these liberals who were calling me 2 days ago, freaking out about high gas prices, they're freaking out more and more angry that they're low again, and they're getting lower every day. And I've talked a lot about lately, after J.D. Vance said, J.D. Vance hosted the first Charlie Kirk show after the Never Trumpers assassinated Charlie Kirk. And he says there's no middle ground with the liberals. There's no meeting of the minds. There's no compromises. They're just not, you're not able to negotiate with them. You're not able to make deals with them. And he's so right. And you see that all the time. And I want to share this. This is Javier Milei, and he is really amazing. Now, he's speaking in his native tongue, but I have subtitles here. So those of you that are watching on YouTube can read the subtitles. And those of you listening on one of the audio platforms, well, if you, maybe you can speak Spanish. But he really lays it out here about liberals. Listen to this. And I love what he says. This is a television interview he did in Argentina.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
Pero ¿me podés definir zurdo de mierda que no
Todos
lo
los que,
entiendo?
digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea... A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda. O sea,
vos mezclás...
no,
pero
pero es que
eso
si
es
pensás,
pero
si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo tomas para destrozarte.
Yeah. I mean, okay, it goes on. So he says you can't give an inch to he calls them libtards and other words. He says, he must have been a big listener. He says you can't give them an inch because they'll use it to destroy you. He's so right.
Es decir, digamos, o sea, vos no podés negociar con el zurdo. No se negocia. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar...
He calls them leftards. He says you don't negotiate with trash because they will end you. This guy understands the left like no one's business.
Esto, si tienen un golpeador que caga trompadas a la mujer...
He says they let a guy that beat his wife off if it's one of them. Or beat his wife. They let a guy who beats his wife off, like off the hook, if he's a lib like one of them.
Digamos, si es de ellos, ¿me entendés? Se pone el pañuelito verde y grita todo el tiempo contra el neoliberalismo, lo ocultan. ¿Me entendés? O sea, si de repente hay alguien que acosó un periodista que acosa a otra periodista, lo ocultan. Es decir, a todos los de ellos lo ocultan. Todas esas aberraciones la ocultan. Ahora, si vos estás del otro lado, a vos te van a estropear. Te van a matar, te van a dar con lo que sea. No les importa arruinarte la vida. ¿Por qué? Porque no pensás como ellos. Y ¿sabes qué es lo bueno de todo esto? Hay algo bueno en todo esto. Porque como el error es humano, como todos nos podemos equivocar, ¿sabes qué nos obligan? Nos obligan a ser mejores. Y como estamos siendo tan mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos mejores en todo. Y les duele, les duele. Entonces, como no pueden pelear con las herramientas legítimas, se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado, poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda. Y aún así no pueden, tuvieron que bajar la nota, ¿me entendés? Que están perdiendo, están desesperados, están perdiendo la batalla cultural, los zurdos de mierda, por primera vez se ven acorralados los zurdos de mierda.
Después no me digan que yo no tengo por qué avalar todo lo que dice mi ley, porque decís zurdos de mierda y van a decir... acá se sienta la gente y dice lo que quiere.
Sí, son zurdos de mierda.
Acá hay libertad de expresión.
¿Sabes cuál es el problema, Viviana?
No le digo a la gente cómo tiene que pensar y lo que tiene que decir.
¿Sabes cuál es el problema, Viviana? Que es muy fácil ser socialista en un país liberal, pero es invivible, imposible ser liberal en un país de zurdos. Entonces van a utilizar el aparato represivo del Estado para perseguirte. Esto es Gramsci de manual. Gramsci de manual.
He's amazing, Milei, isn't he? He is amazing. Don't you wish Milei could run for office here? Well, he could. He could move here and run for Congress, be in the Senate or the House. He understands. Now, you have to watch on YouTube. And on YouTube, I have closed captioning on, but I also have the translation underneath what he's saying if you don't speak or understand Spanish, which I don't, okay? Even though I took 2 semesters in college and a year in high school, I can't understand anything he said. But I can read it. So I have the translation on the screen if you watch on YouTube at Brian Craig Show. But he understands the left like no one's business. There's no like JD. He's just uses different words than JD would use, the profanity and all. But he's right. They will destroy you. If you don't agree with them, they will kill you, and they will destroy your life and the life of your family, like they're putting Melania through right now, because they're pissed off because Donald Trump is successful and he's a Republican, he's MAGA, and they're losing. They're losing everywhere. And it's amazing that they're losing everywhere when they have so much domination in media. And they're losing. They're being rejected, not just here, all over the world. In fact, right now there's a presidential election in Peru. And I was reading an article this morning. The conservative candidate is expected to win the election in Peru. And you notice, President Trump has led a conservative revolution throughout Central and South America, where conservatives are being elected presidents of these socialist countries like Chile, what's happening in Peru, Ecuador, other places. We're getting all of these conservatives elected in all of these socialist countries in Latin America. It is absolutely amazing. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Rocco. I'm in Florida. How are you?
I'm doing well. Oh boy, here's
I'm
another
trying
rocket
to understand,
scientist.
Iran, under no legal basis, is allowed to control or place tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. It's international waters. It's against all international laws and international norms. What does it say about Dum Dum Donnie that he's like, oh, we're going to charge tolls and split it with the Iranians? Isn't Tony Soprano of the U.S. terrific?
I'm not familiar with who you're talking about. You were talking about Iran, Soprano, someone named Dum Dum. So I don't know who that is.
Kim Dum Donnie, that douchebag that we have for president?
No, I have no idea who you're talking about.
He wants to charge tolls.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Donald Trump.
Oh, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Well, first, I'll tell you a couple things about what you said, okay? Now, can you keep in control of yourself while I'm speaking? Because you sound like...
Sure.
Okay. I know it's difficult probably for you.
Just try not to say anything too stupid like you usually do.
When it comes to whatever negotiations and treaty points are being made between the United States and Iran, none of us, including you, know anything that's in them because they're classified top secret and have not been released to the public. Anything that's been reported is fake.
It's international waters.
Now, I'm not talking about international waters. Excuse me. Whatever the agreement between the United States and Iran is, no one knows what it is. Anything being reported about it is made up fake news. Number two, what President Trump is talking about, and he talks about this a lot, about either the toll or taking their oil. What President Trump does, and anyone who's read The Art of the Deal, which I have twice, or you just watch how he handles things. President Trump always asks for and says he wants a lot more than he really wants, so he can make concessions on things, but that aren't really concessions. So when he says something like, well, we're going to charge a toll in the Strait of Hormuz, he doesn't really mean that. He just means that he'll concede that and make the other side think that they won something. You understand?
Oh,
it's called the art of the deal. It's called the art of the deal, negotiation.
Right.
Yes, the art of the deal.
Everyone takes him at face value because he's never tried that trick before.
What?
Oh,
well, you didn't. You that don't like him never get it. That's the art of the deal.
Yeah, he's playing 9-dimensional chess, right, Brian?
Maybe 12-dimensional. Yeah.
Yeah, well, to dopes like you, he could be playing tic-tac-toe and you'd be confused.
Really? You're a chess player?
Yeah. Hey, before Trump
tell me about chess. Tell me about chess. You're
really not a chess player. So.
Oh, well, you said you know how to play. You're brilliant. You know how to chess. You know all that stuff. If you move,
what would you do if Trump had never come around? Would you?
What do you think?
Colt?
Do you think I was? He knows nothing about chess. He's trying to act like a big smart guy. He doesn't know anything about chess. Mm-hmm. And when you're acting like you're all brilliant.
Were you a Branch?
Well,
were you a Branch Davidian with David Koresh?
Yeah.
You seem like the type.
Yeah. You mean the dead people that were burned up? No, I was not burned to death. No, in Waco by Janet Reno and Bill Clinton.
How about Heaven's Gate in San Diego?
No, they're all dead too. No, I'm alive and well.
Oh, because you seem like the type that would be in a cult.
Really? You know people that are in cults? What you don't understand, because you're so deep into it, you're not self-aware. You're the one that's in the cult. The majority of the people in this country are behind President Trump. The cult are the never-Trumpers like you. You're the one in the cult. You're just too deep inside of it to know.
Have you left your little MAGA bubble anytime lately? Oh, gas prices are down.
They are.
Oh.
They are. They're under $4 all over the place. Go to Gas Buddy. Go to Gas Buddy. Get the Gas Buddy app and look it up.
I know.
Notice how when I mention that this guy's in a cult, how he immediately tries to pivot to something else because you were becoming a little bit self-aware that you're in this lunatic asylum cult of never-Trumpers. And you were starting to realize it, so you're trying to ignore that. But you are the one who's in a cult. The majority of the people are MAGA, are behind President Trump in this country.
As a registered Republican and a lifelong Republican, I have a spine, I have morals, I have principles.
Oh, really?
Like you clowns.
Really?
Who just do it.
Really?
Yeah, who will just
like
do whatever,
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a Republican. James Comey's a Republican, lifetime. James Comey has been a Republican his entire life. So what does that mean?
Let me ask you something. What don't you like about Marjorie Taylor Greene? What non-conservative thing is she done?
She's a liar. She lied to the president, she lied to the nation, and she lied to her constituents. She was never MAGA.
Can you tell me one non-conservative stance she's ever taken?
Yeah, today I'm gonna play some audio of her after the next break. She went on CNN trashing the Trump agenda.
Oh, that's a non-conservative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Therefore, you're not conservative.
Yeah. You're not a conservative. You're not a conservative. You're an insane. Hey, listen, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. I appreciate the call. Then take care. Oh my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That guy's a Republican? You think he's a Republican, guys? Mm-hmm. If you're on a hold, hang in there. My name's Brian. This is The Brian Craig Show, available wherever you get podcasts. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. On the line, we have Louis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Louis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. Opening a new business in Florida? Make it unforgettable with Party in the USA. Party in the USA specialize in grand openings, corporate events, and high-impact decor that brings customers through your doors. From balloon installations, props rentals, to DJs and brand ambassadors, Party in the USA do it all. Serving all of Florida, USA. Follow Party in the USA now or book today at Party in the USA LLC on Instagram. That's Party in the USA LLC on Instagram. All right, welcome back, everyone. I was going to play this anyway, but the last caller, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, she's Marjorie Taylor Greene is just that, okay? She never was MAGA. I know she claims to be. And she has this thing that she's the true MAGA. No, Donald Trump is the founder of the MAGA movement. He is MAGA. If you're not with President Trump, you're not MAGA. But MAGA people don't go on CNN all the time and trash Donald Trump. And she claimed that she left, of course, because she had a couple of issues with him on the Epstein files and such. He released all of them, made it federal law, but she goes on CNN and disagrees with him on every move he makes. So I thought she just thought he was wrong on a couple of things. Now she's like a Trump derangement syndrome sufferer. Everything he does is wrong. So this is what makes her a traitor. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene on CNN today.
President Trump posted about the special election on social media yesterday. And
yes, his endorsed candidate won the House seat that she formerly held, and she's not happy about it.
President Trump posted about the special election on social media yesterday, and he wrote, quote, Marjorie Traitor, as you know, he has called you that in the past, Brown's, Green turns to Brown under stress. Listen, nothing wrong with the last name Brown. I'm just ad-libbing that part. Seat in Congress has been taken over by a wonderful and talented man, Clay Fuller, who won convincingly. And despite the stench left by Green, congratulations to Clay Fuller, a very large improvement over his deranged predecessor, end quote. How do you respond to that?
I don't have to respond to that. You don't respond to bullies, and you don't pay attention to people when they're failing. And President Trump is failing right now. And so he's a man.
He just won a war, right? He sent Americans to the moon and won a war, and the week's not even over yet.
That's lashing out. I mean, after all, this is the man that threatened to wipe out an entire civilization of people. You can't respond to someone like that. They're mentally unstable.
Oh, wow, he's mentally unstable. Yeah, that sounds like someone who's a traitor to me. That's not someone who disagreed on one or 2 points. She's out there disagreeing with him on everything, and then she's still on there. This is another clip. This is her on CNN. Yeah, exactly. She's no Republican. She's not even a rhino. I mean, she's a fake Republican, fake MAGA.
To that, you don't respond to.
Oh, yes, this is the same clip of her again. I don't have the other one, but that's okay. You get it. Point is made. Oh, I wanted to show this to you. This is really exciting. Have you seen this? Artemis 2 took this. This is a photograph that Artemis 2 took of, that's the Eagle platform from Apollo 11. Apollo 11 was the first landing on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. That's what they left behind right there, and we got a photograph of it. That's right. So it's right there. Pretty cool, huh? Absolutely. And Donald Trump did that. You know, Donald Trump in his first term signed off on the Artemis program. So it is all happening because of him. And because his second term is non-consecutive, he's able to see them launch. Okay, now there's a couple things going on here. We're supposed to have the first meeting with our people and the Iranians on Saturday. And CNN and other news outlets are doing everything they can do to get the war going again. They're so upset that the war is over and won. And I was talking yesterday on the program. These liberally impaired losers out there who say, what do you mean we won? It's just a ceasefire. Anytime a war is over, the peace treaty is signed and negotiated during a ceasefire. You don't continue the hot war when you're negotiating the peace treaty. Okay, so this is common. This is what we did with Japan. This is what we did with Germany and in many other wars. All right, so this is how it's done. But anyway, they're trying to start a war again. There's talk of the ceasefire being broken by Iran.
Comments from President Trump on the ceasefire in Iran. The president telling NBC News in a brand new interview that he was very optimistic a peace deal with Iran was within reach and that Iran's leaders talk much differently when you're at a meeting than they do to the press. They're much more reasonable. President Trump also saying that if Iran does not make a deal, quote, it's going to be very painful. That just in. John?
Okay. So, this is a common thing. We've heard this from the president 2 or 3 times, and Caroline Leavitt yesterday. Okay. The Iranians are propagandists in their own country, and they're lying to their people. They're telling their people they run the war. They're going to be in control of the Strait of Hormuz. They're going to continue to charge $1 million a ship to pass through, all these things. None of it's true. Okay, but they're telling their people these things. And President Trump has said multiple times now, as has Caroline Leavitt, that what Iran tells their own people is different than what they're saying to us in the negotiations. So tune that out. And God help them if they are doing, if what they're telling their own people is what they're really planning on doing, because it's going to be over for them. And, the media know this. Okay, the media know this, and what the media are doing is trying to get a war started again. That's it. They're upset that the war is over and it was won without any boots on the ground. And Donald Trump, with Pete Hegseth and General Kane, have led the most successful and brilliant military campaign that the United States may have ever waged in our 250-year history. It's quite possible because no boots on the ground, and we defeated a pretty big country that had an air force, pretty large army, and a navy, and it's all gone now without any boots on the ground. And the media are trying to get the war going up again, and they're reporting things that they know are not true about Iran to try to cause conflict between Trump and them. Now, this is a story. These scientists that have been dying, including or missing, like this general that went missing. I want to talk about this. This is Will Kane covering this yesterday. I've been wanting to get to this, but there's been so much going on I haven't had a chance to yet, but I will now.
Is now reporting a 9th scientist with ties to NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab has been added to the growing list of researchers across the country who have died under mysterious circumstances or disappeared. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the details. Hey, Kevin.
Afternoon to you, Will. Mike Hicks was a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, and apparently he died back in July of 2023 at the age of 59. But the cause of death was never made public, and no record of an autopsy being performed on him has ever been found. Now, on its face, that might not sound like such a big deal, but his is, as you point out, the 9th case of a person with ties to America's space and nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years, including retired Air Force General Bill McCaslin, who was reported missing by his wife more than a month ago. He'd been studying unidentified anomalous phenomena and potential non-human intelligence. Now, in common speak, that simply means aliens. And to be sure, the trend of unexplained deaths and disappearances is setting off alarm bells, both among national security experts and among lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
I think there's a message being sent in all this. I think we better be really careful, and it's more than 8. You take any other profession in the world, take car salesmen. How many of those have disappeared or died mysteriously in this in this country? And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of those. This is a very, very small group of people, and we better start paying attention to what's going on.
The great Tim Burchett speaking there. Another scientist missing, Monica Reza, JPL's Director of Materials Processing. She vanished without a trace last June, just months after beginning her tenure at the NASA lab. And perhaps most vexing of all, because of the nature of the research being conducted and the unusual circumstances surrounding many of these disappearances and deaths, we have scant new information, Will, about leads, though the investigation, we are told, at this very hour does continue.
Okay. So I got a bit of a theory on this that I'll run by you guys. And, this is some mystery, isn't it? 9 of them. And this general went on a walk and never came back. He's missing. And, there's what's kind of being floated around is that they're being kidnapped or assassinated, right? Kidnapped or assassinated because of either what they know, or maybe a foreign power wants them, or maybe they know too much and the government's... This is what I think is probably happened. He's right. There's 9 of them, a small group with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL. When you're dealing with something, most oftentimes the simplest explanation is the explanation, right? People immediately go to these really sometimes outrageous, far off ideas and everything, but the simplest one's usually it. And this is what my guess would be, okay? That they were at JPL, they were exposed to some type of radiation or something else that's killed them all. And that would even account for the missing people, because if they've been exposed to something and they're wandering through the woods on a hike like the general and they die, a body may never be found, or animals might eat it. So my guess is they were exposed to some type of radiation or some other type of poisonous something that involved the research. I don't think that they're being assassinated, and I don't think they're being, Occam's razor, that's correct, yes, thank you, or being abducted by foreign nations, or the aliens have come back to the earth to get them. I think it's just they were exposed to something that's killed them. And that's probably what's happened. I don't know. I'm sure at some point there'll be a dateline on this, and I'll watch it. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
To keep talking about the Epstein bill that President Trump
Listen,
signed,
slow down. You called once already. It's once per show. Don't call again. You can call every day. You can only call once per show. I don't have a lot of rules, okay? I don't have a lot of rules. And I know you're a liberal and rules don't really apply and all that stuff. But that's just one rule that I have. 1 call per show, all right? And by the way, I do a show in the morning. I do a show in the end. You can call on both of them once each. And I don't think that's too much of a rule to ask. But anyway, back to this. I think that's what's happened with them. And I know everyone's making a big to-do about it. But it's probably that. Right? I mean, you guys agree with that? When you're working with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, you're exposed to God knows what kind of radiations and poisons and elements and materials. They talk about rare earth minerals all the time. Rare earth minerals are used in a lot of these spacecraft and computers and such. And a lot of those rare earth minerals are incredibly poisonous. Now, I'm very curious. The Artemis II astronauts are going to be returning to the Earth soon. And I'm very curious to see what kind of welcoming they get. I mean, we know the president invited them to the White House, the 4 astronauts. There are 3 Americans and a Canadian. Even the Canadian got invited by the president. But I'm curious to see how the media handles them. The View. Not only is it our first time back to the moon in 54 years, but the photographs have been incredible, like that image I showed of Apollo 11. And that was one I was really looking for. And there's going to be more photos of that are even more zoomed in and close up. And I really can't wait for Apollo 11's the Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's flight. And that's the lander that's left behind. So it's there, and they were there, and that's it. And I'm sure they're going to do some close-ups of this that are high res, so we can maybe even see footprints with the modern cameras we have. I don't know. And I hope they got some of the other sites, where we can see the moon buggies and stuff. But when they come back, what kind of welcoming are they going to get from the media? Are they going to be paraded around and celebrated like Katy Perry and all those idiots were for going up a few feet and going up a little higher than the Concorde? And especially when we have the first black man to go to the moon and the first woman to go to the moon. It's a big deal overall, but you have those check marks checked off. And do you think that they'll have them on The View? What do you think? Do you think they're going to be celebrated in the media? I don't think so, because it makes Trump look good. You know, this Trump derangement syndrome, you know, with these never Trumpers and liberals, it infects every aspect of their life. And they can't let their Trump derangement syndrome go away long enough to see anything clearly. Now, I want to say this, you know, if you missed the beginning of the show, go back to the show, beginning of the show, and watch this. Melania made her comments on Jeffrey Epstein today, which seemed way out of the blue. And if you missed that part of the show, go back and watch it. And during the conversation, Richie called in and we were talking. And when I was talking to Richie, boom, a light bulb went off over my head. Because when I started, I was like, why did Melania do this? Why is she out there talking about Epstein today? And then this thing with the email came out with Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm like, well, why is this? And I figured the whole thing out live during the conversation with Richie. So if you missed the beginning of the program, make sure you go back and check that out. And I'm not going to go over it all now, but you guys can go back and check that out. Also, if you would like to support my program, become a Patreon supporter. You know, if you become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of the episode. You are a member of the Insider Club. You get access to the Patreon exclusive live stream that's only available to Patreon supporters. It's a troll-free zone. You also get access to commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes as well. And my wife Kathy and I both post a lot of things up there that we post nowhere else. So the live stream that I do on Patreon is much like what I do here on YouTube. There's a live chat and everything, except there's no trolls, just Patreon members. And I talk about a lot of things you'll never hear me talk about here. So become a Patreon supporter. You get access to all of that. There's a link in the description of the episode. No matter what platform you're listening on right now, there's a link in the description of the episode. If you become a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up on the screen on YouTube, and you get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every podcast episode. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank ETW, SFjr, Christine, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, Janice, Teresa, Irene, and Rick. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. Again, the Patreon link is in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the morning show. All right, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you're on YouTube. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the morning.